Hello friends, my name is Oldman Cloud. I upload daily Bazaar gameplay videos to my YouTube channel. Let's jump into another run. As I mentioned before, I am keen on giving other heroes a go in this meta, but having just unlocked the new Vanessa items, I'm keen to string together another couple of runs, hopefully using some of those new items. So let's have a look here. None of these are particularly great. Let's just take the silencer. It's a decent early item to have, and let's try to find a weapon that goes along well with it, which I would say Cutlass classifies as, although I'd prefer Katana. I'll pick up Hand Axe, but probably not play it for the time being, so we can benefit from Silencer, and I think I won't re-roll, seeing as we look like we're just going to play Cutlass for the time being. And I'll go after Fanged Inlet because Fang is a great item to go alongside Silencer. So if I see the early, is it Julian? The monkey? Big monkey? If I see early big monkey, I'm determined to find a way to make it work. So let's keep an eye out for that. Beyond that, the last build I had was a Salt Claw, is it? Build, which was incredibly fun. Albeit potentially not the strongest build. None of these are great. Don't want to spend the money on Cura yet. Shadow Cloak one time? No. Worth a shot. Don't have a friend or toy for the XP for the middle event. Oh, here he is. So let us find a way to make Monkey work. So how do we do that? We need to get his cooldown down. He works well in a weapon spam build rather than a single weapon build, I would say. Although potentially could work in a single weapon build as well. And we need to get our econ sorted because he benefits from gaining gold. Okay, it's monkey time. And do we pick up Catfish just to run in the early fight? I think so, and I'm not going to spend on the reroll. And I think we play with this board rather than putting Monkey on now just because he's so slow and not doing much early on.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share.
So the Monkey seems like an item that should be able to work. It's very, very strong scaling, but it's also very, very slow. So I feel like it's kind of a mid-rangey item. And maybe if you can get it to Diamond and then further reduce its cooldown, it has potential to go into the late game, but with how slow it is, I feel like it's a bit of a difficult ask to get it working late game. And I mean, weapon spam is not a late game build anyway, so maybe that's okay that it doesn't scale too well in the late game. This is going to be close here. I think we should take it. Yeah, just. So that's a nice early win. So we want to keep a lookout for items that improve our econ and for weapons that would fit in a weapon spammy type board once we get Monkey to a decent state. For now, let's just grab a let's grab a free friend. That works in a weapon spam build.
Full sail, my boy.
That can work depending on whether you run medium items in your weapon spam build, and it's good early at any rate. I think now we forsake the cooldown reduction from Silencer and run something like this, or even this. This looks better to me. Get Monkey into the game.
I would never debase my wares by haggling. Ugh.
And we're looking for small, fast weapons. None of these qualify as that.
Cheap junk, go see
Maybe should have grabbed Ambergris for the econ. I think with the scaling we can take Covetous, and we also have decent crit chance, and your Shadow Cloak would just be so nice. I'm not 100% confident about this fight, and it would be a devastating early loss. But let's see if Monkey can pull his weight. I love the art on this. It's fantastic. I'm not sure how the effect fits with the flavour, but maybe it's a reference I'm not quite I'm not quite getting. Or maybe it's a monkey studying the weapons that you buy and then using it to improve your own weapons. I'm not sure. We do take Covetous, thankfully. So very early, maybe he can kind of work because the fights are a bit slower, but I have concerns about him in this metagame because the metagame is so aggro at the moment. I think a lot of people have shifted over to playing Weapons Vanessa. We have to upgrade the monkey, don't we? We have to upgrade the monkey. I think lots of people have shifted over to playing... I think upgrade reduces his cooldown without changing the scaling. That's right, which is a pretty good upgrade still. I think a lot of people have shifted over to playing Weapons Vanessa because of the prevalence of Mac in the meta, and because Weapons Vanessa matches up really well against Mac. So because of that, the meta's kind of shifted to a much faster metagame, especially early. That's my reading of it anyway. Which maybe means we're going to get blown out by just some pure aggro weapon builds. But we'll see how we go. We should match up okay against this, because our monkey will get to go off at least once. And then maybe one volley of our weapons post-monkey is enough to get the job done. Not quite. Maybe we don't match up too well. Crit! No, even with the crit it wouldn't have been enough. Mac's still good, it turns out. You really need to go very, very heavy aggro to beat Mac. But a lot of people are doing that. And I still find Bethesda Dually more annoying than Mac. Not really looking for non-weapons. Anything we want to transform here? Let's have a go at transforming our silencer, hopefully into a weapon with the fiery enchant. Because I don't think we're going to be going single weapon here. Fiery bucket. Not what we were looking for. Worth a shot though. We really need some more weapons to go with our monkey here. That is kind of more weapons. I'll take it. Not a huge upgrade. JJ. Nothing there for us. I mean, it's not good. It's not good at all. There's some synergy with our fiery chum bucket. I don't think it's worth the money. Could have made a case for grabbing Life Preserver for very temporary benefit, but oh well. Let's have a look at Flame Dancer. Normally we block the bronze cutlass, but I believe the game is still in a state where you can get duplicate items from enemies. So we could actually pick up the bronze cutlass and dual wield cutlasses. We also really want Shark Claws for added scaling. Monkey's doing work though. So yeah, there's the dual wielding cutlasses. Econ's in a decent spot for how early it is, and there's the Shark Claws that we were after. So you go there, and now we're really scaling. Square Vanessa plus monkey. And let's not reroll. Trying to be better with my money. Both in the Bazaar and in real life. Let's gamble on a skill. There's plenty of nice weapons ones that we could get. That's one of them. Pretty sure that's going on the right. Or maybe we want you on the... I think we want you on this cutlass, because you scale with crit chance so well, and we just forsake the bit of extra fire damage.
My fight isn't with you.
Dually. Dually. No bugs yet, but lots of fire damage and defense grid. It's a decent dually. It's not super fast, so Monkey might get to save us. Come on, Monkey! I take back what I said. It's incredibly fast. Monkey didn't get to go off once. Yeah, like it's just a fast meta at the moment. It's a very fast aggro meta, and you can get blown out early, and then that puts you in a really tough spot for the mid game. But I haven't given up hope on our Monkey build yet. It's too late for Langjon, I'm afraid, especially at bronze, and not the build for Silencer either. So we're sticking with this, and I think we play it like this. Pet Rock is doing very little and is taking away 10% crit chance actually, because Julian's a friend. So maybe we don't play you. Let's play it like this, and keep a lookout for a better item. And temptation to upgrade our cutlass, but I think skills are potentially more useful, especially strength is what we were looking for. And now we can just get a free upgrade on the cutlass anyway, even though it's relatively minor, 10 damage I think.
This will inspire the crew.
And then we have no survivability, but we have scaling hit pretty hard, which I think makes us well suited to going after the retiree.
My scars in the war. How about I help you get yours?
Lots of survivability from retiree, and the golf clubs do scale, but I think we're gonna be more damaging, especially once Monkey goes. So we definitely got nice scaling. We don't have any of the super fast weapons you might want to see with this type of build, especially early. Katana would be a good pickup. Not from this guy obviously, but in the future. Let's just get some econ, which helps with Monkey. An Uzi is a good pickup. I think that's worth playing and forsaking the artillery spotting advantage here. Do we try again to transform the fiery chum bucket? I think not, because a weapons vendor is nice for us. Cannonade is certainly very juicy, and I think we should try to make this work, especially with how early it is. So, how do we play this? Probably the correct move is to dump the Monkey, I'm afraid. But I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it. Maybe you don't play the Monkey for the time being, and you keep the Monkey in the bag. Just put the Monkey in the bag, bro. And we look at bringing out the Monkey once he's got even better scaling. Because I think this build looks quite strong to me. These are going off twice, even though they're not the fastest. We still have Shark Claw scaling, and we have the fast Uzi for scaling. So this looks like quite a strong weapons build. And let's sell out of you. Maybe hang on here. I don't think we're gonna try to transform you again, so let's sell out and have a look. Nothing here. Alright. So we changed the build a lot and we gave up on the Monkey, but I think sticking with the Monkey in the early game was only going to lead to a disaster. But we'll keep him in the bag, don't you worry, the Monkey's still in the bag. We've got a Mac, which should be a good matchup for us. Theoretically it should be what we want to see. Surely we win this. Yeah. That's the classic case of this meta, I think, at the moment. Of the aggro build being in a pretty good spot. Cannonade's a very fun item. Goes well with wide weapon and fast weapon builds. Which we kind of are. Would have loved to see a fight there. Looking for more weapon skills. That's pretty great survivability. Incredibly impactful skill early on. And we're running the right build for it. But I think the relatively early inexorable in what's looking like kind of a weapon spammy build is just a bit too strong. And let's have a look at your medium, seeing as we're rocking a few of them. Great upgrade. The swashbuckle is one of the best items in the game. I just don't think it really fits with what we're doing. It really goes better on a single weapon build. And because we're playing Cannonade, we need lots of weapons. So I don't think we can justify getting rid of a weapon to increase damage, even though you go so well with our multi-cutlasses. So well. Just doubting what I'm saying as I speak it. What about get rid of Cannonade and Uzi and play Swashbuckle and Monkey? It just goes so well with the cutlasses, who benefit so much from crit chance, and it buffs their damage. Cannonade is really good. 12, 14, 15, 16, we can just get there. And it gets Monkey on the board. Yeah, I'm really not sure about this, but let's do it. Let's play it like this. It's just so good. It's a really strong build, but it's a bit slower than what we were doing before. Let's try Infernal Envoy. The CDR on Monkey would be great. So our Cullises should hit quite hard here. Especially, we're going to scale the crit chance with Inexorable. Yeah, they hit really hard. So that makes me feel a bit better about this kind of... the short-lived pivot to Cannonade than the immediate change back. Swashbuckle plus 2 Cutlasses is also just a really cool build. Plus you throw in the Monkey. And I don't think anyone would complain about this. Let's take Strong Brew Temporary Boost, which is great for our human fight. And we should be able to take Mod Squad no problem. It's so funny how they've changed the name of a lot of these enemy encounters to be more serious, but they're still just Mod Squad. So yeah, Cullis does work, but when we don't get them with the first lot of charges, the build starts to feel quite slow. But the build scales really well. Swashbuckle is such a great scaler item. It upgrades really well and is probably the best recipient of a random enchant in the game. So overall, I'm pretty happy with where we're at, and it's fun to include Monkey. Not sure how we go against super aggro Vanessas. They might just get us down before we can really get our build going. We don't have much survivability. Let's have a sip of coffee. While this one plays out, I feel like we should match up quite well against this. We should put out a lot of damage with our Cutlasses, unless we get very unlucky with no crits. No, we get the crits. So yeah, it's a bit of a menace, this build. Swashbuckle plus double Cutlasses is just beautiful. The Monkey and Sharkclaw really aren't doing much. It's really the 3 left items that are doing the work here. And it's cool that the build has ended up working with Artillery Spotter, seeing as we've gone square. I'm paying for the extra chocolate just because it's the only survivability we have, really, is coming through additional health. So I don't mind getting that, paying for that health. Pretty sure we can take Lone Shark. Monkey might be in danger if we pick up another Sharkclaw, but we'll worry about that if it happens. Love ATM for the econ. If we win, this is the issue where we don't... Okay, we do win. But it's certainly... the fights become scary when we don't win with the first swings of our Cutlasses. There's the Sharkclaw. Do we play you over Monkey? It will impact... You scale 20. He scales a lot, he's just so slow, but he gets in... His scaling gets in before the Cutlasses go off the second time. And that's probably enough. That's probably enough to keep him on the board. And we upgrade, seeing as he's staying, we upgrade our Monkey to reduce his, how long it takes. Even though you can make an argument that it doesn't matter too much, because either way he's only getting in for the second swing of our Cutlasses, but we may well find a way to reduce the cooldown on our Cutlasses in the future. And who knows, with slows, a slow on the Monkey, for example, it's, I think, a worthy upgrade, and I wasn't interested in upgrading the silver Cutlasses for very minimal benefit. So that was the logic there. Let's have a look at JJ.
A friend. I mean, a customer.
No. Not at the point of buying, selling just to buff Monkey. Our econ isn't that good. This could be great. It's not great, but it's something. Let's take improved crit chance across the board. Dually.
I may be young for
We're gonna
but I've
come up. It's the around the time of the game where the bug dualies get their build online. It's bug dually. It's Bethesda dually. Bugs, 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 and it's the exact meta build. Let's see how we go against it. I don't think we're going to get to a second swing, unfortunately, because they're just so devastating. Stupid bugs. Ah, we win. Haha. I am extremely satisfied about that. I would classify myself as a toxic player when it comes to bug Bugdilly. Not a fan of coming up against that build endlessly with the exact same build in the exact same configuration. But can't begrudge people for playing what is probably the strongest build in the game at the moment. Second Shark Claws do pop before the first swing of Cutlass, I just realised. So maybe Monkey's off the team again, temporarily. Shark Claws just makes the first swing a lot better. Makes the first swing of Cutlass a lot better. Orange Julian is better in longer fights. Let's keep him there for the time being. Temporary boost is great, but medium vendor is what we want. Nothing there. We'll pick up the wanted poster. Katana is interesting, but I don't think it fits now. I think with the increased crit chance, we're really going all in on the dual wielding Cutlass build. Let's take a small tool just as a freebie. Small buff to Julian. Now, we could certainly, I think we go after the Radiant Corsair. We have no survivability and no shield, but we hit really hard and we scale quite nicely. Let's try. This is a risk, especially with Spyglass hitting one of the Cutlasses. That's probably okay actually. Just after Julian goes, we hit really hard, and my hope is that we can get him down and then kill with this swing. It's going to be a matter of whether our left Cutlass gets to go here, I think. Which it does, great. So that's a nice win there. Even nicer if we pick up Fiery Rebirth. No such luck, and won't be making it to the team, but still a nice chunk of XP. So glad we took on that fight. And let's have a look at your weapon skills. Damage buffs are really nice for us. Crit buffs are also nice. I think we can do better than 5% crit across the board. Yeah, 5 damage across the board is not insignificant. And I think with how set our board is, we take some gumballs, and crit is quite impactful, so those were some nice gumballs. Julian's now buffing for 108 after 9 seconds, which is pretty massive. Have a look at weapons. Nothing here. I will reroll. Nothing here. So I think we're committed to Julian over second Shark Claws now, so let's sell this just to give him a tiny buff. Likely a aggro Vanessa, so it'll be interesting to see how we go. I think we lose to aggro Vanessa. It's kind of a hybrid, slowy, burny, aquatic-y, small itemy, friendy. Not really sure what they're doing here, but sometimes they're the scariest builds of all. So we don't get with our first swing. Julian pops, meaning we kill with our second swing, I'm pretty sure. Even though we're slowed. Yeah, even though we're slowed, that second swing once Julian has gone off is a devastating amount of damage. So, it's cool. It started the run wanting to make the monkey work, and I feel like we've made the monkey work. Dual wielding cutlasses with swashbuckle. It doesn't hurt. Let's see how far we can take the build. I'm just going to take the gold, I think, here. Help with the econ and a bit of a buff to Julian. Don't have any bronze to upgrade. Let's have a look at you. Wouldn't say no. That's a cool shrimp. Wouldn't say no to a cutlass upgrade. Our old friends. They don't fit with what we're doing here. Inexorable is getting up there. Pretty sure we can take Vortex. It's a Square Vanessa, but not as you know her. And I mean, Square Vanessa's a pretty novel build in the first place anyway. And a very thematically pirate board we've got here as well. Other than maybe the sharp claws. But everything else feels like a swashbuckling pirate. Not relevant to us, but we'll take the buff to Julian. So he starts to get pretty juicy in the mid game. That's a huge amount of damage to buff our items. It's going to be a fight between him and Swashbuckle for an upgrade. I think we probably have to go Swashbuckle, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. It's Mr. Richardson. That would make our board more piratey, but doesn't work. We're going to just get to level 10, which is a huge breakpoint to hit before this fight. It's fantastic. And seeing as we're not really after small and large, let's just go to Fins and take some increased regen, and let's take our enchant. Enchant line with damage effects is a great enchant. Pretty sure you can't go on Swashbuckle. Swashbuckle is crit or shiny are the great ones, and then Radiant is the bad one. So maybe we put our second enchant as random on Swashbuckle, and while we can, take the damage effect on the Cutlass. I think that's probably the play. It would be pretty devastating to put a random enchant on the Swashbuckle and hit the 1 out of 3 for a bad one. Now that you're our better Cutlass, we put you on the left as well, so that you benefit from left-handed. And we should be well placed here, having hit level 10. So that was the benefit of taking on the Radiant Corsair, was that bit of extra XP to hit level 10 today. Their Flurry of Blows is always super scary to see, but I think our Cutlasses are better than yours, even with no life steal. This should hit incredibly hard. Yeah, really, really hard. And that was with 1 crit rather than 2. As long as we get in a second swing, which we do. It's a close one, but we take it. It's the benefit of life steal here. But our Cutlass plus Monkey swashbuckling pirate build is serving us well. Even with the Monkey just going off once, it's such a huge difference. Shark Claws probably aren't serving a massive purpose at the moment. Maybe should have played Wanted Poster actually, just for the extra crit chance with the bonus XP. Should have maybe thought about that. But anyway, let's take some health for survivability. Seeing as we've got no defense whatsoever on the board. It's a pure aggro board. Not looking to transform. JJ could have some stuff for us. Gonna treat myself to another couple of rolls. Should have gone JJ, man. Although I think Swashbuckle is technically a shield, so we could... a shield item. So we could lock into another gold Swashbuckle, which we do. That's great. I think the odds are actually relatively decent of hitting that item with Kev's Armory Vendor, but I'm not going to deny that that was a lucky get, because that's a huge upgrade now. We hit super, super hard. We can take anyone, but I think we take Elite Duelist in the hopes of getting Big Ego, which would immediately solve our survivability problem. This Cutlass hits incredibly hard. we probably don't even need the Monkey at this point. It's really just our dual-wielding Cutlasses, but I wanted a Monkey build and we got a Monkey build. No luck with the skill. Let's take a chance. Yuck. Hate these other hero vendors. She looks like she's going to be a really cool hero, but it's so rare you pick up an item that synergizes with your build. They're probably my least favorite nodes.
Your father was a good friend, so
Looking for... what are we looking
don't
for?
expect me to go back.
I mean, more damage is always good, and that's a decent chunk of damage. I think that's worth it to not re-roll. All our skills work so beautifully with what we've got going on here. And can't afford much. Let's just take a temporary boost to try to make sure that we win in one swing against someone who looks like a pretty strong Mac. Mac has no shield though, so unless they're playing something completely busted, we should get in one swing with our Cutlasses, and hopefully that will be enough. Cutlie? I guess Cutlasses. They do have a fair bit of health. They're slow to get off the ground. It's not quite enough, but with the burn it is enough. Great. So yeah, I don't think we may not have got a second swing in there. So the temporary boost to help us win with one swing of Cutlasses rather than two is really nice. Getting that enchant on belt can be a massive buff to this build as well. But maybe we don't get another enchant if we never go down to lethal. Let's keep going with our limited survivability in the form of increased health, and can't see us losing to Archon. Monkey is kind of just on along for the ride a little bit, but that's okay. Monkey did get to go off there, so Monkey did something. He's a pretty chunky buff. That's a pretty incredible buff to all your weapons.
My boy.
I think we're at the point where our board's so set that we're taking loot. Even though I'm sure there's better items than Shark Claw, but it's doing the job for now. CDR across the board is incredible. Massive buff to our build. And we got to take a look at mediums. Monkey?
I'm pretty laid
It's a good upgrade.
Oh, the water is free.
I think we now probably play this instead of Shark Claws. It's a bit of BM, but I genuinely think that the 20% crit chance, although they're already at 100% crit chance through Inexorable mostly, but the 20% increased crit chance is converted to damage, which is, I think, immediately better than Shark Claws. So it is actually a case where Wanted Poster makes sense on the board. Although you give 50 damage, which is objectively better. Welcome to the team.
Bring it back. I want you to be
Hitting incredibly hard now. You're not aquatic, so no point sticking you to the left. But I love the kind of weird symmetry of this board. Incredibly cool board put together here. So this will only give 16 bonus damage. This will give 10 bonus damage, but potential to give more with Scaling Swashbuckle maybe? Yeah, depending on the enchant we get. And it's 5 versus 20. So let's just take Artillery Spotter. 5 versus 20 cost, that is. We've improved massively that day, which is a bit surprising. I wasn't sure we could improve that much, but we have. I think Shark Claws is never coming back onto the team. Could make a case for playing Wanted Poster over Monkey and just going all in on killing on that first swing. It's probably better. As sad as it is to say goodbye to the Monkey temporarily, I won't sell him. I'll never sell him. I think it's just better banking on the first swing as opposed to the inevitability from the Monkey. We shouldn't need that against another Vanessa. Unless it's a super shielder, which it's not. It's an aggro Reynad Trebucheter. I feel like we match up quite well and probably only need one swing here. Yeah, so much damage. So much damage from the Colourless. And yet to put an enchant on the Swashbuckle. What a strong build.
Ride that tide.
Upgrade, it has to be Monkey. Even if he's barely getting played. I mean, it has to be Figurehead, in fact. I'm pretty sure that's an extra 50 damage, which is so huge. I'll compromise with you. I'm going to upgrade Figurehead because I'm pretty sure it's just by far the best upgrade here. But I'll keep Monkey on the board. As I feel like we're kind of so strong that it doesn't super matter what we do here. Potentially famous last words. But this is a pretty disgusting build. Dual wielding Cutlasses. You almost only need the left one, but the dual wielding Cutlasses are very cool. Volcus Enforcer. I think we can win, but I say that a lot and it never seems to eventuate. But all we need is one swing of our Cutlasses, which we should be able to get. Although we don't have much survivability, let's see how we go. It has to be okay, right? I feel like if this build is losing to Volcus Enforcer, he's just too strong. Yeah. So much damage from these Cutlasses. They scale so well with crit chance with the double crit damage. And then Swashbuckle just works incredibly well with them. And then you add the scaling, the increased flat damage from Figurehead, and the scaling from Monkey. They're just incredibly, incredibly strong.
The Bazaar's a crazy place.
Take that. It's so tempting to play over Monkey. I know what I said, but look at the buff to damage. it's just so much better than Monkey, because Monkey takes so long to go off. But it's so much more fun to play Monkey. Let's take the temporary boost.
Now this is
And
how you
let's
win
take
a war.
a look at these skills. Not bad. Very strong. Let's just take you for a massive buff to damage. Yeah, incredibly damaging colours. Alright, to be clear, the play is to play Wanted Poster rather than Monkey for this incredible damage buff, as well as significantly more XP. But you got to do it for the content. We got to keep the Monkey on the board. So let's
You
see
should know,
how we
I'm
go.
a bit of a legend on Pelago.
You are a child to me, and I will punish you.
Slow Mac by the looks of it. No, not Slow Mac. Lifesteal Mac. I feel like that matches up poorly against me, my friend. Sorry about this. Not quite. May have nearly was made to eat my words there. Didn't quite get in with the first hit, but the fire does the rest of the job. Would have been devastating to lose that after the BM of not playing our optimal board. But Monkey gets to share in the glory, now buffing for 214 after 8.5 seconds. I mean, it's certainly not that it's a bad item, I just think the initial flat damage of Wanted Post is probably better. Super fun run. Coming around to the new Vanessa items, I think they're better than I initially gave them credit for, and they're very fun, which is probably more important. Let's go after the octopus. So we should get a chance for Monkey to go off here, and let's have a look at the damage he buffs our Obsidian Cutlass to. Oh, over 1,150 damage. Oh my, so it hits for, what, total combined of 7,000 once it's been buffed by Julian? Pretty remarkable build we got here. I mean, Tiny Cutlass goes really nicely with the build, but I think we're sticking to this board now. And let's get Temporary Boost to try to help us just make sure we get over the line for a final fight, even though I'm feeling very confident. Flat CDR across the board, we'll take that. And got to stick Monkey on the board for what is hopefully the final fight. Big Buffet boy, great name. I mean, we can definitely lose. We can lose some freeze builds, some maybe hyper aggro builds, but I feel like this should be a win. Maybe not. Yeah, there you go. I got too confident. So that was, like I said, of when the first volley doesn't hit and they're aggro. When the first volley doesn't kill and they're aggro, we don't get there. So maybe the damage from Poster would have won us that, which is a kind of bad feeling. Don't want to throw a 10-piece just to play the Monkey, to be honest. Bit more survivability. That was a strong build we came up against there. Let's take on Void Golem. I think so long as our Obsidian Cutlass doesn't get destroyed, we should be fine here. Even if it did, we may have been fine with Monkey scaling the Fiery Cutlass. Not really looking for much at all here.
Maybe a skirmish.
It's funny. But I think it's likely to hurt me more than it hurts them, seeing as I'm quite dependent on our Obsidian Cutlass. Alright, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, we're getting a Diamond Monkey. What an odd sentence. But there you go. Monkey now goes off after 7 seconds. Doesn't really matter that much, to be honest, because it's still not getting in there before the first Cutlass swing, which is what we need from it, unless the Cutlasses get slowed. So probably not the optimal play there, but certainly the funnest play. Oh, that's a great enchant. That's going straight on Swashbuckle. Look at this buff to the damage we're about to see. 746 to the left, all of a sudden. 846, 100 damage to both of our cutlasses. How greedy. It's so, they improve it pretty significantly, but we got to go with the monkey, don't we? I think if we go down to lethal, I might be forced to put the wanted poster out, which I think is just a better item than monkey. But for the time being, let's try to get the win with monkey. It's a nasty... Oh no, the monkey slowed. Oh my god, look at it go. And we have no survivability, so we lose this. It is going to come down to the final... We get one life down, but they have fire and rebirth. So it is going to come down to the final fight. May have been too greedy with monkey. Our build is so busted, but we're coming up against more busted builds. I have no idea what enchantments do on monkey, but I'm keen to find out.
Follow it to your future.
Maybe we put haste on him, and then hopefully he hastes our cutlasses, in which case the second swing goes better. I also need to give serious thought to just playing wanted poster rather than monkey for the final fight. But let's give him the enchant. Haste 2 times for 4 seconds. So yeah, that's great. That helps the second swing get a lot better. You got to spin the wheel. You got to spin the wheel, regardless of what the other options are. Got a bad feeling we're gonna crash out at 9 wins after being so confident and after kind of throwing.
Easy, no grabbing. I'll get it.
Not really relevant, but I'll pick it up because there's no reason not to. I'm sure there's some great skills to get
I'm
here.
not the only one with a sense to walk away.
None of our items are aquatic, but some disruption is nice. We have no disruption other than that. Not really looking for anything to put on the board, so I'll just take the cinders. And we'll take Void Colossus, even though I'm sure there's some weird series of events where we lose, just because it would be nice to get the XP. In fact, there's probably not. We probably get him before he can destroy anything, I think. Yeah. So much damage. How are we losing with this this board? Just goes to show with the Bazaar, you never know. You can always come up against more busted builds. There's no reason not to take it, but it doesn't do anything for us. So we're not... Oh, Skills Merchant is exactly what we're going to see. This is how we potentially improve. Shame we don't have aquatic items, which is incredible, because that's an incredible skill for it. None of these work. Really hoping to see something good here. Shield Bash is incredible. Shield Bash is one of the best skills in the game, especially for this type of build. Gunpowder does nothing. So now's the moment of truth, or shortly is the moment of truth. I think we just take some increased health. We've got quite a lot of health for Vanessa, even though it's very late. What are we up against? A dually. Bug dually. Likely bug dually. We're probably only getting 1 swing in. How much do you increase? You increase it by 60 damage, which is actually 120 damage, which is actually 240 damage. I think it's 360 damage per swing of this, if my maths is correct, which it may not be. It's a lot, but it's no monkey. You gotta play the monkey. You gotta play the monkey. Come on, Julian. 18 Julie. He means business, but he's gone pretty late. Yes, I would like to fight.
Isn't with you.
Almost certainly Bethesda Dually, with all the bugs. Yeah, with Dualtron is really bad. It's the Exodia bug Dually. Do we get to go at all? No, so it doesn't matter whether we... That's just so stupid. I hate this build. But it doesn't even matter that we played monkey over our wanted poster. So I'm glad that we did. This build is just stupid and will get nerfed 100%. But what an incredibly fun build. We got monkey to kind of work, even though he was also kind of a liability. It's a real shame you just run up into this nonsense. But that's just the nature of late game Bazaar. If you're not insanely broken, you're not winning very often. And this build is incredibly strong and incredibly fun, but it's not insanely broken. It takes 5 seconds to go off, which is too long in the late game. And even with Shield Bash, even with Shield Bash, it wasn't enough. I was kind of hopeful Shield Bash might be enough. But I think we wouldn't have killed in one hit anyway. Yeah, we just got outmatched at the end by the strongest build in the meta. And almost a perfect rendition of it. So it happens. Can't be too bitter. Super fun build. Glad we stuck with our monkey, our dual wielding cutlasses, our enchanted swashbuckle. Really fun. Shame we couldn't quite get it to 10, but that's the way this game plays out sometimes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. It helps out a great deal. And see you next time. Cheers.